What is up, guys? How we doing? So Joe Shimoda, he had that amazing performance at Redbud. He even saved some people on an airline. Seriously, true story. But he's got his new deal, and I'm going to let you know where he's going to be riding in 2026. Just when I think MX Sports can't get any cheaper, they're advertising for flaggers for Budds Creek. Yes, free flaggers for Budds Creek. And there's a privateer that still hasn't even been paid from Hangtown. True story. The amount of dirt baggery over there just blows my mind. Every time I think they can't get any worse, they find a way. The Big Hill Jam was in Albany, Oregon this weekend, and Matt Burkeen, if you want to see all the footage, head over to his page. He let me use some of his footage, and it's insane. These guys are nuts, and yeah, I'm definitely going next year. And I'll tell you what, the stuff they were doing at the Big Hill Jam, they need Nano-Xtreme. There are some sore bodies after that weekend. They need it on their backs, wrists, ankles, knees. Any guys that need the Nano-Xtreme, head over to nanoxtreme.com, use code COOKSY and get free shipping. Are you worried about the heat at Loretta Lynn's? If you are and you want to find a way to deal with it, click the link or the little icon right here, the QR code, and Coach Rob will walk you through how to prepare for a hot day and a hot event. My buddy AJ Writes Crypto, he's a crypto YouTuber and investor. He's done amazing with this, but him and VeChain have partnered up. They're giving away a Tesla, actually 3 Teslas. They've already given away 1. They're giving away 4 total. They're giving away $1,500 in crypto and a bunch of merchandise. Click the link below and enter to win your Tesla, your merch, or your $1,500. And if you don't like Teslas, somebody was complaining about Teslas. I don't want one of those damn cars. AJ will give you $42,000 cash. So, hey, everybody wins in this one.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
So just when I think MX Sports can't get any lower and they're making good money. I would estimate, it depends on the round, but they're making significant money. I would say at least 7 figures per round off this series. Every round, there's 80 riders in the 450 and 80 riders in the 250 class who go out there and put their lives on the line. And I'm not just being dramatic there. We know this sport and the speeds they're going nowadays, unfortunately, you can get hurt really bad, really fast. And I've got a lot of suggestions on how to make it safer, but the first thing they need to do is get a permanent flagging staff. You can't bring in volunteers and give them free lunch. This is racing at the highest level. We have teams and riders and families that are spending probably millions of dollars to compete in this series, and MX Sports doesn't want to pay for a permanent flagging crew out of their cut. And this sport is dangerous, even when done properly. Mammoth Mountain had plenty of flaggers, exceptional medical crew, and we still had that tragic accident with Aiden Zing. This sport is dangerous no matter how. You just can't race dirt bikes and do those speeds with those jumps on these tracks without it being considerably dangerous. But what we need to do is fix what we can. And what we can do is we can have a permanent flagging crew that warns these guys when there's somebody tires. I want those gone. The way that Jordan Smith shot sideways, could you imagine if he had shot sideways in a section where he flew into the crowd? The riders don't like the paddle tires, and if nobody ran them, they wouldn't run them, and they'd be happy because you get more side grip. Think about those paddle tires. If you hit a kicker like Jordan Smith did and it kicks sideways, there's no grab. If you've ridden with one of those, they're a little sketchy on some of those hard-packed slicks. I mean, if you can keep it in a straight line, you're perfect. But if you have to use the lean angle or the slide, you're in big trouble with that paddle. But if you don't run it, you're going to be buried in the pack because they rip that start so deep, you have to have it for the start. But the first thing we can do is have an educated, traveling safety crew that knows where to go, what to flag, when to call for a red flag. We need this to be a permanent position. You can't bring in guys, weekend warriors. They're advertising it as the best seat in the house. Well, if you're there watching the race, you're not really doing your job as a flagger. As a flagger, you need to pay attention to your section and your section only. Now, if I'm there, I'm sorry, I'm not going to pay attention because I'm going there for one day. I'm not trying to impress my bosses. I'm not trying to get better for the next week. It's the only time I'm going to do it. I'm going to watch the race if there's an exciting race going on. And yeah, I probably would get distracted. So I don't blame these part-time flaggers. It's MX Sports being too damn cheap to have a permanent flagging crew at every single round. And if you want to get an idea of how cheap they are, CJ Tucker is a privateer. He hasn't even been paid for Hangtown. These guys are racing for peanuts, but they rely on that money. Dirt bike racers outside the top 20 do not make a lot of money, and they count on those extra couple $100 to get them to the next round. They put in all this effort. The least MX Sports could do is get CJ Tucker his money. Apparently there's some issue with his password. You're trying to tell me you have so little customer service that you can't get this guy who races for you, you can't get him paid? That's embarrassing. Meanwhile, Kerry Coombs is so concerned with the Cooksey media sign that got on TV that they've issued either an email or a group call that nobody is to film Cooksey media signs. Yeah, so why don't you be less concerned with what I'm doing and be a little bit more concerned with running your business? And you know what? If they did that, I would speak nice of them and they wouldn't have to hide my signs. I would be polite and not do things they don't want. But between Supercross and Motocross, the SMX series is on the verge of getting a $100 to $200 million a year streaming deal with Peacock. Yet they're still acting like they're broke. Now, I watch the Canadian series and I get it. There's not a lot of money in the Canadian series. They don't get near the streaming money. They're probably breaking even on streaming. The fan turnout is not gigantic. I'm guessing it costs a little bit less to get into a Canadian national than it does an American national. But they do their very best to give back to their riders. And they might not have extra money for a permanent flagging crew. And that's what MX Sports used to be like that. That's how it was in the 90s. They were struggling. They had to get volunteers. But at this point, it is a professional sport. Act like it. Take care of your riders, their families, because nobody wants this catastrophic injury that could have been avoided. We have enough of these accidents that can't be avoided because it's a dangerous sport. Let's not add to it with stupid stuff. And I do have to laugh at how upset they got that the Cooksey media sign made it onto the broadcast. I hope there's so many signs around the track they can't avoid it. That would make my day. It would let MX Sports know, hey, we're watching. We see what you're doing. You guys are dirtbags. You're robbing us of the sport that we love. Yes, you put it together in a very well-produced event that has become marketable. You're getting hundreds of millions of dollars. Can you at least take care of the product and the families that are shedding their blood, sweat, and tears and spending their own money to go compete in your events, your professional events? Can you imagine if a PGA player finished inside the money at a PGA event and it was like 3 months and he couldn't even get a hold of somebody at the PGA to get his money? That's what's going on here. So come on, guys, do better. Stop worried about me and my YouTube channel. I actually help bring people to the sport, so you should probably just embrace it because I'm actually making your money, you idiots. The more I discuss the sport and the problems, it's the more attention. Listen, we can't help but want to pay attention to things we're emotionally invested in. And if it's me complaining, you're still paying attention. That shows you how dumb they are. Kerry Coombs is an idiot. They're so greedy and egotistical. Yeah, and they don't care about us. They really don't. And they don't even have to care about us. Just treat us with some respect. Give the riders what they deserve. Improve safety when it's possible. I don't think that's asking too much. Give the riders a small profit share from the TV contract. You still got all the other money. And they've done a great job, so they deserve to make a crap load of money. But they'll only make more if they take care of the riders and teams. That's who we pay to go see. I'll tell you a company who really cares about customer service. That's Precision Transport. That's pretransport.com. They're a shipping company that believes in reasonable pricing, fair pricing. Go figure, right? Fair pricing, good customer service. So hit up Pretransport if you need to ship anything. Alias MX gear. They got their 25.5. It's their new lighter gear. It is really nice. It's going to sell out, so head over to Alias MX. Get your 2025.5 gear before it's gone. This stuff looks awesome. It's light. It'll keep you cool during the summer. AliasMX.com. Now to the Big Hill Jam. Josh Hill puts together this event, and he just does it up good. Josh Hill and Justin Hill, they're a couple of the most talented brothers I've ever seen ride dirt bikes. And they've got a bit of a screw loose. These guys like to jump, and they like to jump far, and it's terrifying to me, but I love watching it. For factory superstars or former factory superstars to give back to the sport and hold a fun event like the Big Hill Jam, which paid better than an outdoor national to the guys that went and raced it, that's pretty cool. And the pit bike race, oh dear Lord. So I was going to go out there. I wasn't able to make it. I'll probably go next year, but I was going to bring my new Powersports XQi3 and ride in the electric class. Thank God I didn't. Josh Hill, you are a savage. When I took one look at that pit bike section, I went, wow, glad I didn't try and race. Sure fun to watch, but man, that was terrifying. When I go next year, I'm leaving my bike at home and my gear at home, so I'm not even tempted to get out there because I'm dumb and I'd probably go out there and wad myself up on that because it did look fun, but I shouldn't be doing that. Maybe I'll bring my new Powersports bike and put someone else on it because that thing is good. I'm telling you, it is better performing than the Surons. If you got on the XQi3, you might have an advantage on those Suron guys. Speaking of the electric bikes, man, Patrick Evans, YO, and I forget the guy's name, but he wears all white, Stormtrooper guy. They were turning those things upside down, backwards. It's crazy. I have no idea how the physics works on this. It doesn't look like it makes sense. But I guess those electric bikes, since they're not stuck in one gear, when they rev it to get it back straight, it's like revving it in fifth gear, so they get some real momentum, so they can turn those things all the way around and get them back a little bit easier than a combustion motor. I'm disappointed they banned them at the X Games, but I can see why. The guys on the electric bikes were whipping way further than any combustion bike. The ramp they had set up for the best whip, holy moly, that popped those guys high. That is terrifying. That looked like a super kicker of super kickers. There was one guy that tried to jump it. I don't know. Somebody said he'd never hit a ramp before. I have a hard time believing you'd hit that one for your first one. If you are, that's not a great idea. Ramps are a totally different ball game. I remember I was at Sandy Valley when the guys were out there hitting ramps, and I went over there, and they had it pretty far back, and I was like, can I hit it? They gave me this whole lecture about how to hit it. Don't give it too much throttle. There's too much grip. Everybody over jumps. That's probably what they told this guy. Don't over jump because you can on this, and he didn't give it enough and came up way short. But after hearing their explanation, I went, you know what, guys? I'm good. I'm going back to the motocross track, and I live to ride another day. And then they had Uncle Ron. Ronnie Mac showed up for the air wheelie contest. He's always a good time. He air wheelied the big jump with the whip. He was air wheeling the finish line, and they had a contest. It looks like a lot of fun. But man, there was a lot of dudes that yard sailed. Whew, that scares me. But hey, everyone makes those choices on their own, so you got to let them be stupid if they're going to be stupid. Then they went over and did the big air demo that Josh and Justin were hitting this gigantic, to me it's two jumps. It's not a double. I look at that and I go, I don't even think it's possible to double those. The Hill brothers look at things a little bit different. It was like a 140-foot gap. Crazy. There's a guy, Jacob Niewert. I hope I got your name right. This dude, he threw down in the best whip. He was getting after it. He saw that and he's like, I'm going for it. I don't know if he was on a 250. I think he was on a 250 the way the bike sounded. He did not have enough speed when he went for the big one. Came up short and completely blew the wheel out. But that's scary, man, because on a jump that big, if you don't make it, we're not talking an ambulance ride. We're talking the morgue. Your bike locks up on the face of that thing and you're no longer on this earth. It's just, it makes my heart skip, and I hope they don't make this a regular thing because it's only a matter of time before something like that happens. But man, the Hill brothers, you're scary. Jacob, you're a savage for sending it. I'm kind of glad your wheel blew out so you didn't try it again. I know you were going to redeem yourself. I would rather see you live to ride another day. So Joe Shimoda, after that 1-1 performance at Redbud, I started doing a little digging. Earlier in the year, I'd heard he was going to Kawasaki and that it was almost a done deal. And that is true. It was almost a done deal to Kawasaki. Things were bad at Honda. The Lawrence brothers were making it miserable for him because he was still with Lucas Myrtle. When he parted with Lucas Myrtle, and after the outdoor performance he had, and with Chance Hymas going out with could be a career-ending third ACL injury, it became a lot more important to Honda to keep Joe Shimoda. He's good. He's really good. He might end up being your outdoor champion this year. He's 38 points down to Deegan, and I don't see him beating Deegan straight up, but with a star Yamaha that keeps blowing up and Deegan with an injured leg, this thing's anything but over. But the people at Honda that work there, they love Joe so much. The only people who were giving him crap was the Lawrence brothers. They've mended fences. The Lawrence brothers are playing nice, and they've re-upped Joe. It's the same deal that he had. He was kind of overpaid for the results he had for the last couple of years, so they brought him back with no pay cut, which I think is pretty stand-up of Honda, and I'm glad Joe gets to stay on that bike that he's so comfortable on, and he's riding so well. He opened the season with a win at Anaheim, and then it all went sideways after the pit board. But he is back on track, and even if he doesn't win this outdoor championship, he's good at SMX. He almost beat Deegan that first year. He could do it again, so keep your eye on Joe. In addition, he saved some people in an airplane. He's sitting by the bathroom door, and apparently it's stuck. So every time somebody got stuck in the bathroom, Joe came to the rescue. What a good dude. Anyway, thank you, members. Appreciate everything. You're all entered to win Nano Xtreme this month. I'm going to give away some Nano to a member. And then you're all entered to win the new Power Sports XQi3 in December. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And here's your member of the day.
Let's start this off by saying, we got them. The illegal sale of American motorcycle racing. I present a case that reveals how the American Motorcyclist Association's 2008 sale of its racing properties constituted an illegal transfer of public trust into private hands. My name's B. Maisie, and I'm here to stir shit up. So I made a song for you guys. You know, it's crazy that the riders still gotta pay to race, even though these guys are just filling their pockets because they're money-hungry, greedy, stupid mother, ex-circus owners, but still got the same mindset for the Supercross. Screw Feld, screw the AMA, and screw Rob Dingman.